And I'm like, how productive is that? Seriously. It's like, it doesn't matter who wins an election. For 2 years, the next 2 years, the losing side is fucking pouting, trying to cause chaos so it will screw up the midterms, right? So they actually lie. They lie to us all the time, both sides. Okay, don't get angry at me, my friends, please. But you know, there's a line from The Hunt for Red October where that congressman says to Jack Ryan, he said, "I'm a politician, which means I'm a cheat and I'm a liar. And when I'm not kissing babies, I'm stealing their lollipops." You understand? And that's true. They're saying what they can say to get in. And the proof is in the pudding. Once they get in, if they actually do some things. And are able to, and aren't blocked because someone else has a majority, right? But no matter who the president is, whether we hate him, whether we love him, we're neutral, whatever, they're still the president of the United States. Just like in Band of Brothers, and Captain Winters says to Lieutenant Asshat, Goebel, Zobel, whatever, don't salute the man, you salute the rank. Because he walked by like all smug, you know. And Damian Lewis, playing Captain Winters, went, salute the rank, not the man. And that's it, you know. You don't have to respect them. And we can say whatever we want. I could go right up to the president and say, "You're a fucking dickhead." Right? I know this won't get monetized because I've said the F word a few times and I'm talking about politics and shit. But let's just chill out, man. We, the citizens of the United States, need to stop fighting with each other. Okay? We got to stop watching that bouncing ball and listening to all this bullshit. We got to start sticking together because, like Rome, we will fall. Okay? I'm telling you what, it's fragile. It's very fragile. I better cut this in 49 minutes. Yeah, that's asking a lot. Really. I have no idea where I can cut it. So that means I have to listen to it, watch myself. Oh, God. You see the things I do for this? This guy. This guy on. My sister's neighbors are going over, what the hell's that guy doing? Don't you know I'm famous? No, I'm just... No. Okay. God dang, he started to walk over. Fuck. Oh, shit, I'm glad I don't have to go to the bathroom. We need to start getting along. Who gives a shit if this guy over here likes Chevys and this guy over here likes Fords? Right? There's no reason to go fisticuffs over it. And my friends, I have a handful that I can actually talk about politics with and completely disagree on this or that. Not necessarily what side of the aisle, but the actual, what the hell are they thinking, right? Why did they do this? Or why did he do that? Or why do they want to do this? And we'll debate. We'll talk, knowing that you're talking to a fence post, right? A friend. Not that my friends are stupid, but once you've made up your mind, once I've made up my mind, I'm open for suggestions. Okay, I'm open for suggestions. But if someone's really has conviction, you're not going to change their mind. So you're going to talk to your blue in the face, and then you could become unfriends, right? You could be like, fuck it, I can't stand being around him anymore, right? So we avoid politics, religion, sensitive subjects like that. But I have some friends that I can talk right out about politics, or I'll ask, what do you think about this? Because I'm not a savant, okay? I'm not on this, I know where I stand on things, and I know how I vote, and I'm not always down the party line, okay? I'll tell you that right now. I mean, like local elections and things like that, because I still vote. Well, not here, but in Washington State. Washington State's all mail-in ballots. So, and overseas we have extra time, and they'll mail it to me, and I'll get it, and I'll read all the shit. Who's against this, who's against that. Then I'll talk to my friends who live where I'm at, and going, well, is the fire department really doing this? Or is the commissioner really doing this and that? And I go, no, that guy's a fucking, I said, okay, I'll take that into consideration. So I make a fairly educated decision. And I make that line, fill in that little circle, and mail it back. And then it tracks, right, and gives it back. And there's always an opportunity for corruption in anything. Oh, we just found more ballot boxes. You know what I mean? But that usually happens when it's a freaking close race. When you got people from both sides counting the ballots physically, this is this. I concur. Boom. You know what I mean? I mean, voting booths can be electronically rigged, right? So it all depends on how deep down that rabbit hole of conspiracy you want to go. Eventually, you got to just say, I'm doing this, right? Like when you buy a vehicle. Oh, I can't decide. Or me, I'm looking at different motorcycles. Eventually, I'm going to have to hit the button. Or not. But I'm going to have to make a choice. As my dad would say, shit or get off the pot. Okay? So, yeah, this is definitely going to be a two-parter. Hey, if you made it 10 minutes, thank you. Really, I appreciate it. I was at my friend's house right after I first got here. Got to Seattle. And I saw myself on the 60-inch or whatever big-ass TV. I was like, oh my God, I got a white, some I don't know, something I had maybe just eaten right here on my lap, and I'm going, holy shit, turn it off. Oh my God. I forget what video. If I remember, I'll say it in another one, unless you've already seen it. But I'm like, God, next time before I start shooting, wipe my face, make sure I'm good to go. But I watched it on the screen, and I'm going, wow, I sure do this shit a lot with my collar. And it almost seems like every time I start to talk, I go like this. This one, I was itching my chest like for 4 days. I'm looking at that going, dude, tie your hands down. Anyway, all right. I don't even know how to close this out. Um, Overall, I've had a good time. I haven't been in the mood for walking because I'm cold and it's freaking raining. Now, I know I'm not going to be walking tonight. And she lives in a beautiful, my sister and her husband, my brother-in-law, live in a beautiful 110-year-old home, you know. But I'm not going to dox them. I'm not going to take pictures of the neighborhood or any of that kind of shit. I mean, what you see in the rearview mirror, good luck with that. But just a beautiful home. And but it's 2 floors. I'm never going to again. For some reason, I like to fall down. Anyway, so, but yeah, I'll be there. You can start without me. The more you eat, the less I'll eat. We're having French dip. Yeah. Nice. French dip sandwiches, you know. Yeah, I don't miss a lot of foods when I'm in Thailand, but when I come back, I realize I miss that. I got some serious seasonings at Costco. Okay, real granulated garlic, real pink Himalayan. Now I can buy pink Himalayan in Thailand for, you know, a little more money. But no, I'm like, I used to use this all the time in my kitchen when I was cooking. And I don't cook now because my kitchen is smaller than this floor mat here. And, but I've got some things so I can cook some stuff. And I told Dave, my landlord's husband, I'll film inside their house. You've seen some of it during their housewarming, but dude, double ovens, massive layout area, prep area, double sinks, all this kind of stuff, microwave at the normal level, massive refrigerator. But he says, I'm going to teach myself how to cook. I said, wait a minute, you don't cook? Huh, never cooked. I can run a microwave pretty good. And I said, dude, I'll teach you how to cook because I'm going through the DTs of not cooking. I used to invite people over for dinner just so I could cook for people. Okay? Because I really enjoy cooking. I mean, cooking. I'm self-trained. I started at a very, very young age because my mother was very, very, very sick. My younger brother would do desserts, and I would do the mains. And seriously, that's a whole other story. But we taught ourselves how to cook. And then I've worked in numerous restaurants, done all the different disciplines of restaurants. I could never make it through Gordon Ramsay's or, you know, the Samurai Cooker or whatever, any of that crap, okay? But I can make a pretty damn good meal. And I could go look in a fridge and pull something together. I'm good. I'm that good. I'll own it. Am I bragging? Maybe. But I can definitely feed myself. But I can't. I just enjoy the presentation, okay? When I'm cooking for friends or family, their shit's plated up just like in a professional setting. They're just like blown away. And then mine, I just throw it on the fucking plate. I don't care. But I want them to be happy. And I ask, What do you think? Honest. Be honest. Be honest. Be honest. My cousin and his wife, when they lived with me for a couple of years, they were my guinea pigs. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then they'd be like, hey, can you do this again? Like, yeah, no problem. No problem, man. Man, I love them. I miss them. They're down in Florida. He works for Boeing also. I'm not going to say his name or none of that kind of crap, or his wife's name, but next time I come back, I don't think I'm waiting a year. I'm going to come back when the weather's good. And I'm going to stay in Seattle for like maybe 3 days. See my kids and my sister. And then hop a bird to Boise. Rent a car. Go see my sister and her husband. And then hop a bird to Florida. And then start working my way north. My cousin works in Jacksonville. And I've got a bunch of friends, both YouTube and not, all up from south to north, or north to south, if you want to look at it that way. But I'm heading north because I want to go up in the northeastern states because I've never been there. And I'm going to see some of that. Yeah. And then I'll make my way to Texas. I've got a couple friends there. Non-YouTube, but I've met through YouTube. So I guess you can consider me, but they're not YouTubers. And then first part of the year, maybe late November, I'm going to Cambodia for like 3 days with some friends. It's not quite confirmed yet, as in the dates. And Christmas is rolling up after that, so I haven't decided where I'm going. Probably end up at Chuck's. That's presuming they'll have me. I haven't been kicked out yet. And after the first of the year, I got to check the weather. I'm going to talk to Robert Mack Media, okay? Most of you know him anyway, but I say, hey, what's the weather like in January in Vietnam? Because I want to go see some things there and take a little more time in places, right? Yeah. And then there's South Korea and Japan and other things like that. But, the stateside one will possibly be 2 months. And no, I'm not van lifing. I'm not going to be camping. Camping to me is a 3-star hotel. I'm not joking. I mean, I started hardcore backpacking in the day, right? I trekked in the Himalayas when I was 18. 24 days in the Himalayas, okay? 24 days trekking. 17,500 feet was my highest elevation, and I was dying, and I was in freaking shape and young. And then I tent camped, You pack in Pacific Crest Trail or something, Forest Service land. You go in and you just pick a spot, free. You don't go to a campground. You go in the bush, and you pitch your tent. You make a fire. You shoot the shit. You have fun. Then I moved up to a tent trailer. And as you get married and then you start having kids, right? And then I moved up to a hardside trailer. Then I moved up to a fifth wheel, right? And then I moved down to hotels because you're unencumbered. Because I was forever attaching something on How do I carry my motorcycle? How do I do this? How do I do that? Right? You know, how do I tow my car if it's a motorhome? Which I never did. I never did get a motorhome. I was like that close. But I finally pulled back on the reins and went, you know what? For the amount of time I'm going to be using it, because I'm working my ass off like everyone else in the rat race, right? You only have so much time during the year. In the United States, you know, regular jobs, you're lucky with 2 weeks, 2 weeks vacation, some time off at New Year's and Christmas, time off for like a 4-day weekend on Thanksgiving, Easter, you know, you might get the Monday off because Easter's on Sunday, crap like that. Where in Europe, you know, you get a month or two, you get paternity leave, the husband gets paternity leave. I don't know if you do in the States now, but at any rate, it's usually sitting 10 months out of the year. So load up the vehicle and go stop at campsites or picnic areas. You get the, at least in Washington State, you get a discovery pass, they call it, when you get your license renewed, right? You pay like $30 or whatever, and it gets you free entry in any national park. And if you don't, it's $5, right? $5. So it doesn't take much to you know, make up for that money you spent. And then you just let's stay at such and such a hotel. Okay, yeah, I really like that one. And you go down, you get your continental breakfast, you know, junk food, really. But man, I tell you what, maintenance and all that kind of stuff. Same with the boat. You know, when I had my boat, it sat more than I did when I was project managing in the office. I mean, geez Louise. You know, I say it's a hole in the water you throw. You know, if you're using it and really enjoying it, I had a bunch of friends that did, and I went out a lot with them. And I'd always offer, when they'd fuel up and shit, I'd pull my wallet out. No, man. No. I would have been going anyway. Okay? But buy the beer. Okay? Buy the beer. Or buy the whatever. Dungeness crab from Puget Sound, the San Juan Islands and everything around. God, it's to die for. Anyway, I'm going to stop this babble. I hope you guys are well, okay? See, I'm playing with the shirt. It's brand new. Shit, man. I wish I had this when I was in Vietnam. God dang it. Anyway. Again, I appreciate all of your support and the interaction. There's a lot of people that I just, in the middle of the night, my phone will be hitting me on my chest, right? I'll be trying to reply to comments, and I'll fall asleep. I'll bang. And then there'll be like a bunch of A's or something. I'm like, oh God, thank God I didn't hit send. But there's people make me laugh. I mean, they just laugh. Sometimes I'll read it and just go, and then I'll like, wait a minute now. There was a comma there. Holy shit. And then I really get it now. I'm a little slow. A lot of slow. And my sister's. Okay. 5 minutes. Sorry, sis. I'm on a freaking roll. Anyway, I appreciate you being here. However long you watch, you know, however you say I'm a lard ass or whatever, as long as you're not violating YouTube's rules or code of ethics, I think they call it. And in particular, saying anything negative about Thai businesses, Thai people, or the monarchy. Other than that, if you want to call me an asshat, if you're not a dick about it, it's going to stay there, right? I believe in freedom of speech, and I'm not going to censor something unless I have to, okay? If someone wants to be stupid, okay, I'll let everyone else who watches read their stupidness. As long as they're not violating those rules. I'm way off on a tangent. But for the 7th time, 8th time, I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful day or evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world. It is 14:12 right now. Because I've been on for an hour and 12 minutes, and I started at 1300, so there you go. All right. Later. Thanks for watching. Bye.